Hey everybody, my name is Eric Hopkins and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're finding me for the very first time, please click that like and subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you get all the notifications about when I put up new content right here on this channel. And so Tyrese Gibson is kind of in the news. Obviously, he's got Fast 9 coming out in theaters here very, very soon. And so he's been talking about another movie that he is acting in coming in the next year or so. So let's go take a look at the article here and get into the discussion. Morbius star says that Marvel movie is set in the MCU. There has been an update on this story, but I'm going to read the original story first, and then we'll get into the update here. Morbius star Tyrese Gibson says the movie is part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. However, the relationship between Sony's Spider-Man spin-off films and the MCU has long been uncertain, ever since Sony's Amy Pascal called them adjuncts to the MCU back in 2017. Remarkably, the confusion continues even now, over 2 years after Venom grossed over $850 million in the global box office. Officially, Sony is building what they call the Sony Pictures Universe of Marvel Characters, or SPUNK, as I like to call it. A shared universe that will span various mediums, including movies like Venom and Morbius, and TV shows such as Silk. However, it's gradually becoming clear there is some loose relationship between the SPUNK and the MCU, with Sony executive Sanford Panich recently confirming a plan to link the Spider-Verse and the MCU movies together. This connection could take two forms. It could take advantage of the multiverse with Tom Holland's Spider-Man swinging between dimensions, or it's also possible the SPUNK films are part of the wider Marvel Cinematic Universe, existing in the background of the MCU itself. Speaking to comicbook.com, Tyrese Gibson, who plays the character Simon Stroud, a sometimes ally, sometimes enemy of Morbius in the comics, has given a rare straight answer to this question. Asked whether Morbius was part of the MCU, he gave a simple response: yes. Panich's recent comments had led most viewers to believe the MCU and Sony were going to be connected via the multiverse, fitting well with the MCU's multiversal direction and the anticipated appearances of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in Spider-Man No Way Home. But Gibson's response here suggests the relationship will be a lot more direct, and that Morbius, and presumably the rest of the Sony Marvel films, are a part of the wider MCU. This does fit with the Morbius trailer that was released in January of 2020 and featured several nods to the MCU, including a Spider-Man being on the run and the surprise appearance of Michael Keaton's Vulture, who was in Spider-Man Homecoming, that is set in the MCU. If Morbius is indeed part of the MCU, that means some of fan-favorite Spider-Man stories could yet be faithfully reproduced on the big screen. The most exciting of these is Kraven, which will star Aaron Taylor Johnson as the infamous big game hunter. If Sony can use Spider-Man, they could adapt Kraven's Last Hunt, a classic comic book from 1987 that saw an obsessed Kraven impersonate Spider-Man to demonstrate his superiority. Kraven writer Richard Wenk referenced this story while talking about the script he was working on some years ago, and that arc may still be possible. For now, though, viewers would still be wise to reserve judgment as to the precise relationship between the MCU and the SPUNK. The history of this issue is very confusing, and plain answers like Gibson's are few and far between. In this specific case, it's important to note he only answered yes after someone asked him about it. Obviously, and now we've got an update on all this. The update was that GameSpot reached out to Sony to confirm the film's release date, because Tyrese also said in this interview that it was going to be moved to October, which as of right now, Sony has not. The film's been moved around a few times due to the pandemic, and it got pushed to January of 2022 at this point. I believe it was originally maybe set for October of this year, so Tyrese either probably forgot or there's an announcement that we've not heard about yet here. The film is still scheduled to release on January 28, 2022, and the film is not part of the cinematic universe of Marvel, according to Sony at this point. Rather, the film is part of the Sony Pictures universe of Marvel characters. But it is interesting to note here, if for some reason the Morbius movie does get pushed back to October of 2022, maybe we could start to take Tyrese Gibson's words here with more credence, a little bit more credit possibly, because maybe he knows something we don't. But it seems like right now Morbius is still scheduled for January. Obviously, that's not been announced to be changed at this point. But not only does Tyrese Gibson's remarks regarding it being set in the MCU possibly hold weight, we, as the article mentioned, we have seen a trailer for Morbius already that stars Jared Leto as the title character. And in that trailer, we see posters on the wall of Spider-Man, being wanted, I think, or even missing at this point, which could mean anything. It could be any Spider-Man in any different timeline. However, we did see Michael Keaton's Vulture, who was thrown in jail at the end of the MCU film Spider-Man Homecoming. So, why would he show up in Morbius if the film does not at least have some sort of relationship to the Marvel Cinematic Universe? So something is going on here. Obviously, we now know that Spider-Man No Way Home, coming out in December, is most likely going to be dealing with the multiverse, because we're going to most likely, we know for a fact that Doctor Strange is in this movie with starring Benedict Cumberbatch. And we know for a fact that Doc Ock, played by Alfred Molina from the Spider-Man 2 film. And we know that Electro, played by Jamie Foxx from The Amazing Spider-Man 2, is also in Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, there's tons of rumors about a bunch of other characters, which I did a video on my channel, so definitely go look that up if you're interested to see all the rumors that are revolving around Spider-Man No Way Home right now. But the other stuff has not been confirmed yet. We're still awaiting that trailer, hopefully any day now, and hopefully we'll get some, clear evidence and clear, answers when it comes to this movie. But if all the multiverse rumors are true, it would make sense for Morbius to at least be able to crossover or be connected to the MCU somehow. The same goes for Venom or Kraven or the Silk series, anything else that Sony wants to do. If they can connect it to the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Disney and Sony can play nice, all this could be one connected universe. And even Kevin Feige has come out and said many times that Spider-Man is one of the few characters who can jump between universes. So if that's the case, I got a feeling that what Tyrese Gibson is saying is probably true. But again, we've seen Tyrese Gibson come out and do random videos where he's, maybe not necessarily making the right judgments and maybe saying things he probably shouldn't have. So maybe this is one of those times, or it could be one of those times he let something slip that he wasn't allowed to let slip, which is why Sony is denying it at this point. So there's always that possibility. So for now, this is a take it with a giant grain of salt scenario. This is rumor at this point. But again, the only evidence we really have is the Michael Keaton appearance in the Morbius trailer. Take that for how you will. There's obviously something there that we have not seen yet, but we're just going to have to wait and see. Venom comes out first, and then we're going to get Spider-Man No Way Home, and then Morbius. So hopefully by the time Morbius rolls around, we'll have a little bit more answers when it comes to this big question. But the real question here is, guys, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Morbius is going to be set in the MCU, or do you think Tyrese Gibson is completely off his rocker? Comment down below. Let me know. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you get all the notifications about when I put up new content right here on this channel. And until my next video, guys, take care.
Target.